You don't have to worry. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Lord have mercy, I'm getting text. What do you call it? Text bullied by my daughter because I didn't wake her up to go to work today. Have mercy. I didn't know. Alrighty. Come on into the room, people. Be coachable, teachable, trainable. Post your city if you would like, but preferably your state to let me know where this information is reaching out here in these internet streets. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being coachable, teachable, trainable, and doing that. Letting me know what state you're chiming in from so I'll know where this information is being delivered. So on today's Watch Me Work Wednesday, thank you so much, Mo. I greatly appreciate that. She said, Mo Weeks Crabby Eyes. You're going to have to let me know the story behind that name at some point. Right, so today is Watch Me Work Wednesday, and we are continuing here in 2026 with the theme associated with personal branding. So let me drop this music down a little bit in the background. Y'all know I absolutely love my 60s and 70s music. Greetings from Tennessee. Thank you so much for being coachable, teachable, trainable, Mo, and letting me know where you're chiming in from. So again, I am continuing with the theme. Can't get it to go down now with the theme personal brand and helping you guys, Gen Xers specifically, to get your assets in order. And as you know, we're working on week 2 here in January of 2026, and we're discussing step 2, right, of your 1 step. We're going to have you guys do 1 step each week. Probably going to end up being more than that each week to start your personal brand journey. Some of you may just be enhancing, some of you may be revamping, depends on what it is that you're trying to do, where you are on this brand journey. Some of you are just getting started, and like I said, some of you are cleaning up some things. And so I want to be able to help you do this in as organized a fashion as possible to help you, hey there Mark, to help you guys avoid a $10,000 mistake that I made. Okay. And so on last week, when we were discussing this information, we talked about how important it was to understand the value associated with your name. You guys remember that? Do you remember anything about it? Do you remember the 5 W's I gave you about it? Anything that you want to drop into the comments and let me know that you remember this information that I have been discussing over the course of the onset of 2026. I think today is January the 14th. Okay. 14 days into 2026 already. I feel like I just woke up 2 or 3 days ago to the new year, right? I cannot believe we are 14. This lets you know how quickly time is progressing and that you need to take the opportunity to get your assets in order, right? So that you can be in control of whatever it is that people are seeing about you, knowing about you, anything like that. Come on into the room, community camper. Hey there, Mark Ward. So good to see each and every one of you. Thank you so much for helping me attain the live goal. I didn't realize that I had set a live goal for this one. Maybe it stayed from the last time, but thank you. Thank you regardless. I'm sure the algo appreciates it. So what I want to discuss on this week, second week, is the next step, right? My daily goal is to brand you first, to educate you next, and to help you get your assets in order. And so what I determined I needed to do along this 52 weeks here in 2026 was help you guys strategically along the path of checkpoints in your personal branding. Like, I'm sure it resonates with you guys. So there is no way I would be able to teach you via a TikTok live everything that you need to do in your own individual personal branding. Yes or yes. You guys know that I actually am not available to completely brand you here from a TikTok live, right? And so what I endeavor to do is to kind of help you with certain checkpoints along the way for you to kind of watch this information, maybe pull out some of the assets of your personal branding and kind of review them to see where you are on this journey and if the things that I'm saying make sense for how you could avoid mistakes along the way. That is my ultimate goal for the information that I share with you here on Watch Me Work Wednesdays and Setup Sundays with regards to what you're doing on your brand journey. So who here currently is operating with a personal brand? If you understand what a personal brand is, if you have one in place, if you have even the slightest inkling of what a personal brand is, drop that information in the comments and let me know where you are along this journey. I take questions anytime during the live, so definitely if you have a question about personal branding, drop that information there. If you're interested in learning more and going further that I'm available to give you here in this setting, then take the opportunity to look up here in the profile, and there's the option for you to come into the community and you will be able to ask more in-depth questions. The beautiful thing about this community is it has free checklists, free strategies, free pre-recorded and live training that's in there. It has downloadable options for you guys to see everything that I discuss publicly in here on my website, on all social media platforms. But the beauty is you can do that at your own pace, right? You can go through the options that are available in there at your own pace. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're missing a tip. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're caught up, you're behind, or any of that. You are available to look in there. So in there, you will see I discuss this specific journey, right? And on this journey, the first thing that we talked about at the onset of 2026 was the awareness piece that you need to start with regards to your branding. What do I mean by the awareness piece? Are you aware of word of mouth referrals, how important they are? Do you know how to ensure that the people who know about your personal brand, your business, your niche, your service, whatever it is that you have to offer these internet streets, do the people who know about you know how to share that information via word of mouth? Are they aware of what it is that you offer? Do you have things organized? Are they simplistic? Is there a way for them to refer you, right, to their friends, their families? Can they share your information easily? All of this is something that you need to be aware of in this awareness stage, and make sure that the people that are associated with you have access to that so that they can share with other people, again, bringing more awareness to you. That leads to the next thing about you being aware of how you can actually become a collaborative partner, how you can actually connect with others and help each other be aware of each other. That's very important. That's good to know in the awareness stage. The social media connections. Are all your social media touch points, are they all consistent? Are you one thing on one platform, somebody else on another platform, right? You have to be aware of how important it is to be consistent across multiple medias of multiple platforms of the social media realm. If you have master classes or webinars or things like that, are they easy to find? Again, are they set up in a way that they are easy for others to share that information so that everyone can become more aware of you, right? When you're looking at platforms like Google and TikTok and YouTube, all these platforms, are you the same consistently on all of those platforms? And are people aware that you're on most of these platforms so they can share your information, right? This is all a part of the awareness stage, right? And this corresponds with the first thing, the one step that you were given in week 1. And that was become aware of what your value is, right? Become aware of the option that you have to purchase your domain name. What is your domain name? Your name as a domain, meaning my name is Martina Britt Yelverton. So obviously, if you go to martinabrityelverton.com, you are then available to see the speaker website, one of the first touch points. If you search on any social media platform, that name, you will find me. Take and add BrandMaster to it or BrandMaster by itself, you will be able to find me. That is what is meant by the awareness of understanding and owning your value. Being able to control the narrative of what people find out about you when they're out here, they're looking for you and they're searching in these TT streets, right? In this internet realm that we operate in, are they available to find you? Okay. Being aware of that. So here in week 2, now that you have taken the opportunity to be smart, to do what your BrandMaster said, okay, and to go and purchase your name, now we're going to move into step 2. All right. So thank you so much for asking that question. An unusual name that's longer than most. Not being funny, but like mine. My full name is Stacia Martina Britt Yelverton, right? I go by Martina, so I purchased Martina. So I'm going to pin that a moment, and we're going to tackle that real quick before we move on to week 2. If you have an unusual name that is longer than most, then I'm going to suggest that you brand yourself behind the easiest part, the shortest part, the most used part of that name. And then you have to think about it. Unusual for who? Who is unusual for? If you have a name like Yelverton is my previous married last name, my kid's last name, 3 of my 4 kids' last name. So with them having that last name, I promise you, I get every misrepresentation, mispronunciation of that name you could possibly imagine, right? I just spell it slow. Yelverton. I just spell it slow because I've used it all my life. It's familiar to me. It could be unusual to others. So I would just suggest that you use the shortest, most understood, most used, frequently available, any of that would make sense for the industry that you're in. But I hate to say this, and I don't necessarily hate to say it, but it is what it is. If it's your name and these people are going to frequent you, they're going to have to become aware and use it often enough where it's no longer unusual. Does that make sense, Mo? I hope that makes sense, because in the end, if it's your name, it's your name, right? And if they're going to frequent you, it should no longer be unusual to them. Do you have an example? If that doesn't make sense, do you have an example that I could possibly go a little bit deeper on? If not, I'm going to jump on over into step 2. Not step 2, week 2. And here in week 2, what we talked about on this past Sunday was we went a little bit deeper on your big me list. And what does that mean for this journey? So your big me list that we talked about on I'll say last year, because it was as we closed out the year, so you could go ahead and start preparing for what was to come. We talked about your value and everything that is good, that is good about you. I like my given name, and it gets misspelled and mispronounced all the time. Okay, so here's the thing about that. That actually is an opportunity for discussion, for personalization, for honestly, I would venture to say that is an opportunity for you to qualify people. If people are not going to take the opportunity to pronounce and spell your name correctly, who are going to take the time to invest their time in you to spell your name correctly, ask you how to pronounce it correctly, that's a telltale sign. I would use that as the opportunity to qualify people, just to be honest with you, right? That's how I would look at it. It may be mispronounced and misspelled among a certain group of people. However, other people may have no problem with it. Case in point, I have a client and they are in the equestrian industry. Child, when they first came to me, because they are a legacy client, which means I have 2 of their other projects already. When they came to me and they mentioned the equestrian industry, first off, I heard equestrian. Does anybody know what the equestrian industry is before I leak it and give you all the answer? Does anyone in here know what the equestrian industry is? Type that in the chat. One word if you know what yes, correct. I didn't know when she first said equestrian industry. I heard equestrian and I felt like in my head I said horses, but I was like, maybe it's some elite segment of horses, and like I really didn't know. And so because equestrian, I literally had to make sure I knew how to spell it. We actually thought about where they're located, the industry and the surrounding areas of where they're located, their target market. Okay, I have a flash goal. Let's see what the flash goal is. All right, I'm going to hit start. Whatever this flash goal is, I'm going to go ahead and pin it, and we'll see what happens after that. All right, I literally had to go number one and type the thing, okay, to make sure I understood what it was. I had to type it first, and then I suggested to them, because originally it was going to be the name, their last name, Equestrian Services. And so what I suggested, thank you so much for your daily heart meat, Steph, I appreciate it. Come on into the room. Thank you so much for sending the Go Populars. I appreciate it. And you have been a fan club member for over 100 days. Y'all, shout out to Stephanie, Miss Sanders, right, for being a fan club member for 100 plus days. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for using the sticker. If you guys are interested in getting your assets in order, then take the opportunity. Boom, that's what I'm saying. If you've been branded by the BrandMaster, then go ahead and hit us with the BrandMaster sticker. Thank you so much, Stephanie. If you are interested, thank you so much for your daily heart meat Afro swing. If you are interested in getting your assets in order, check out the comments and you can plug the Get Your Assets in Order sticker as well. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for being the example. When they came to me with the word equestrian and they wanted that to be the name of the business, my first question was, who's the audience? Because being honest, not everybody's going to know how to spell that right off the bat, right? Plus, if we're talking about personal branding, good to see you as well. If we're talking about personal branding first, then we're going to want to continue to utilize the owner's name for the awareness stage. You are brand new to this industry. You're brand new to bringing this out. You're brand new. What's going on? She used the I'm new here sticker. I hadn't seen that one before. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. We need to start with your personal branding first. I suggested instead of using equestrian services, they utilize EQ services. Okay, and so we went in and every place that was necessary to make the adjustment, we adjusted it from saying equestrian services to EQ services. So depending on who your audience is, I would use that as an opportunity to pre-qualify the individual who's going to take the time to figure out how to spell it correctly, to figure out and ask you how to pronounce it correctly, right? And then again, as you continue to move forward, when you're speaking, slow down. Pronounce it yourself in a way that they have to think through the spelling, right? And make that a part of your branding. And also make the consistent mispronunciation and the misspellings a part of your conversation, because that's going to slow people's brain down long enough to comprehend. What's going on, Julius Moses? So good to have you join us on today, right? That's going to slow people down long enough for them to check in with their ability or their desire or their need or their want, or your need or your desire or your want for them to pronounce it correctly. Does that make sense, Mo? I hope that's helpful. I'm not going to say that everybody's going to do it, but to me, that's going to pre-qualify those who engage with you when they slow down and they take the time to spell it correctly, to pronounce it correctly, especially if you take the time to slow down and pronounce it correctly yourself. Like, hey, I'm Martina, Britt, Yelverton. If I pop right on past that, you may not understand, hear, or even take the opportunity to type it in correctly and go back and slow down and find me. So when I introduce myself, or when I'm trying to spell my name, I'm BrandMaster Martina Britt Yelverton, right? And I take the opportunity to pronounce it correctly in hopes that they will be able to find it. I make sure that I have something very clearly outlined, spelled out for them to be able to access it. So if you have a look at the profile picture, you're invited to come into the community, and it's my name, right? So by consistently using your name, that will help the people find your information. And again, those who want to slow down will slow down, and they will take the time if they're truly interested, and that helps pre-qualify the people that are trying to check in with you. Those who want to know will ask, right? Now, if you have an opportunity, drop that in there so I can see what the name is, what the spelling is, and see how I do pronouncing it for the first time. I greatly appreciate it. So as we continue on, while Mo does that, helping you guys here understand in week 2, what we're focusing on here in week 2 is helping you guys avoid a $10,000 mistake that I made. When I say I made it over and over and over. Again, even with clients. And it's because in the initial part, it was case study. And Miss Sanders will tell you, when we first began putting her brand together, the first thing that we did, if she needed it, we built it on the runway. We were not out here trying to, fly this plane with no parachutes. We literally would build it on the runway and see if it would take off. All right, here we go, guys. Loyas, Monique, Caloyas. How close am I? Monique Caloyas. I can tell you, I don't know, and flew, right? Build it on the runway, test and see if it would take off. And if it took off, we flew. If it didn't take off, we brought it back to the runway, tweaked it, and took off again, right? Because we were case studying a lot of the different aspects of what it was that we were doing, because we were brand new to this thing and we were true to this thing. She was relentless, okay, in everything that she did. And I was determined to figure a thing out. If she said she wanted to try something, we tried it, right? But now that we have so many different case studies, so many different things that we've done along the way, we now know when we come, Monique Coelius, Monique Colis. Is that correct? Monique Colis? We now take the opportunity to think through the process as best and as in-depthly as we can before we go jump off a diving board, before we even try to take off. We take the opportunity to think through with the end in mind of everything that we're trying to do. She has a new book project that is coming out. She knows in her mindset what it is that she wants to do. So one of the things we kind of tricked each other into doing is we would start a Google Doc. And on this Google Doc, she would flesh out, or if it was something I needed her for, I would flesh out. We would flesh out in a Google Doc every part of every thought we had for a project. We would flesh it out on a Google Doc. And then as ideas began to get dropped into our minds, we would just constantly add it in the Google Doc. We would just add the steps, add the timing, add the people, add the ideas, like break down the chapters, whatever it is. So much we would put it into a Google Doc because that would save us so much time. If she knew it was some graphics that she needed, she would open up a Canva, and inside of a Canva, she would just start throwing her ideas and her graphics and everything into a slideshow, into several pages. If you're not familiar with Canva, you can put pages, you can put slideshow. It's so much that you can do in there. She would take all of the content and she would do a brain dump on documents instead of us trying to wing it. We would put documents together and we would share our ideas. And that allowed me to pop stuff out much more quickly because it was almost like she had opened her brain up to me and I could see, hey, this is what it is that she wants to do. Now we get to the part where we're, hey, I want to release this by this date. If I want to release it by this date and I want to do something by this amount of time, now we reverse engineer projects, and that allows us to now see how long do we have, by what time we need to get things done to be able to reach the end result, the ultimate goal, right? This will save you so much time, so much energy, so much frustration. It will save both of you, and it will hold both of you accountable to what it is that you're trying to do. So in an effort to help you guys understand, to move forward along this personal branding journey, woosah, and start with the end in mind. Okay, so what I want to do, we're just approaching the 25-30 minute mark, and I want to take the opportunity, one, to check in with the room, to take attendance, to make sure that I was able to answer that question for Mo. Miss Sanders is in our number one spot with nearly 7,000 followers. She is an educator and author, a financial strategist, and she fixes money problems. She's a part of the GQ squad, right? And she teaches classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? She also has pop-ups. So if she is an individual that you feel you are interested, that you are aligned with, then take the opportunity to follow her for more and check out some of her live content, her pop-ups, and her Tuesday and Thursday classes. Mo in the number two spot, nearly 1,000 followers. She is a midwife in training, a homeschool mom. I don't know if you know who homeschool mom Betty is. You may see her grace through, but she's a homeschool mom, a mobile food vendor, and she obviously has gifted hands. If you'd like to know more about Mo, please take the opportunity to follow her. Afro Swank in spot number 4. She has nearly 500 followers. She is working on her bio. We are working on trying to determine what she's going to grace the screens with in her personal branding. So I greatly appreciate her. If you want to know more about Afro Swank, take the opportunity to follow her. So also, Pause in heaven, if you want to drop a comment below, if you want to give a daily heart meet, if you want to, leave a couple of comments and let us know more about you, then we'll be able to move forward with letting the room know more about you. In the meantime, she has over 3,000 followers, Healing and Memories, Pets with Wings, Get Paws in Heaven, and she has her Azan information on there for you guys to find out more about her. So thank you guys for checking in. I appreciate it. Slow but show. Slow but show. So yes, again, take the opportunity. I don't suggest that when you grace these rooms, and I'm just going to do a small segue about TikTok and what I've learned here in my last 60 days actually being focused on TikTok. I don't suggest when you go into the rooms and you see the people who are up there in this bestie box up here that you immediately follow the people, because you don't know whether or not you're aligned with their content, and this algo is paying attention to that. So what I would suggest you do, and I say this all the time, and if you guys go to my first pinned video, it talks about the 3 things that you should do when you come onto this platform. If you're not a troller and a scroller, meaning you're just on here to consume information, if you're actually on this platform to build a community, then the first 3 tips that I give are extremely important. And number 1 is to set a budget. Right? Set a coin budget, because when you do the daily heart meets, when you do certain gifts, they cost coins. So set a budget so that you don't go broke on this app, right? Set a budget. Number 2 is to stick to that budget, right? And number 3 is to read the room. Those are the first 3 things that I can tell you about this platform that I have learned beyond anything else. And that's to set a budget, stick to the budget, and read the room. Because when you do that, then you are intentional about your coins, your time, you're intentional about your energy, and you're intentional about the people that you associate with, okay? So take the opportunity to make sure you incorporate, if nothing else you do on this platform, do those 3 things, right? Don't follow everybody. Don't share everybody's content. Don't repost everything. Don't bookmark everything, right? Take the opportunity to be intentional on this platform if that is your goal, to actually treat this platform like a business or like a community or something like that. I can't tell you anything else better or greater than that about this platform, okay? Take the opportunity to do that. Now, when you come into these rooms and you see this bestie box up here, again, don't follow everybody that's in the bestie box. The algo is paying attention. Take the opportunity to actually go and look at the profiles and make sure it's something you're actually interested in, right? And that information has been golden, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you saying that, because again, a lot of people have a misconception about this platform. I know I did. I thought it was a dancing platform. I won't study TikTok for the longest time. If you go down to the very, very, very first video that I have back in the pandemic, Literally. And thank you for whoever reposted and allowed Ideas Embroidery to come into the room. I greatly appreciate it. See, I know from Ideas Embroidery being in here before, from Afro Swank being in here before, from Mo being in here before, that they're good people and they're interested in the information that I'm sharing. It somewhere in their ecosystem is aligned for this. That's not the case for everybody, right? But again, I know from being on this platform for the last 60 days that I'm looking at this platform just a little bit different. Welcome, Dr. Foster. I greatly appreciate your eyes on today. Before, I too thought this was a dance platform, so I really didn't pay it a lot of attention, right? If you go back and look at the very first video, it's a video of me dancing during the pandemic with my daughter, right? Had no clue. Did not realize this platform can be leveraged in your personal branding, in your business branding. You go much further than the scroll or the troll. You go much further than the dancing and the laughter. You definitely go much further than the shopping, right? You can go broke on this platform, but there's a lot of value in this platform if you're choosing to actually connect with a lot of the information here. So one of the things that you can do if you chose to purchase things on this platform and utilize them, right? You could utilize them for your benefit. One of the intentional things that you can actually purchase on this platform allows your spirit fingers to have automation. So you can take something like a rat-a-tat-tapper, as I call it, and you can actually click it onto a screen, right? And when you click it onto a screen, it can do the work for you. Boom. Back up is tapping. Fingers are still here. They're not sore, right? So that is actually something that could be aligned with your business or your personal branding. So should you choose to go and look in anybody's showcase, download, purchase, and use it. There's money to be made that way. I had no clue. A lot of people don't talk to and tell you about how something like this rat-a-tat-tapper can save them time, that can help them support others while they're multitasking. So say you're in the kitchen, it's time for you to make dinner for the kiddos, but your favorite mentor, coach, friend, personal brand, product, service, or whatever, they're live and you want to be able to engage with them, but you are busy making the kiddos dinner. You are available to sit that phone down, focus on your food preparations for your kids, and allow your screen to support your favorite mentor, coach, or the product or service that you want to, right? That is a business intentional use of an expense that you got here on TikTok. You get what I'm saying? So think about that. Again, be intentional about what it is that you're doing on this platform. All right? 10 businesses busy. 10 businesses busy. Good gracious. I know the feeling, right? So think about that when you're thinking about people that you follow, when you're checking into these rooms, when you're doing the different things on platforms like this. Just be intentional. Make sure that you're doing things differently here in 2026 so they actually work to your best advantage. Give me just a moment. I'm going to respond to my son and let him know that I am live because I see I just missed a call from him. So let me ping him real quick. I am live. What's up? Please text. Alrighty. So again, take the opportunity to be different, to be more intentional here in 2026 for your business, your personal brand, your family, your friends, your followers, all of that, so that you have a different result. You guys know, what do they say? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. Okay, so let's do things differently this year. I hope that makes sense. So I saw you say, wow, Mo. What specific thing did I say, like, that triggered something, a light bulb or something to change in your activity here on TikTok as I transition into my point number 2 about week 2? What's going on, JoJo? While she's typing that, I just want to say to you guys, when you're thinking about the homework assignments that I give you or the directives, depending on whether or not you're just a consumer here or whether or not you've actually taken the opportunity to join us in the community. Wow. Okay, about the tapper. What specifically about the tapper? When you're taking the opportunity to join us inside of the community and the availability up here, when you're taking the opportunity to come into that community, there are actual homework assignments that I'm available to give you. What's going on, self-leadership? I think it's Deidre, if I learned your name correctly. Thank you so much for your daily heartbeat. If I learned your name correctly over in HR's room, what's going on this evening? When you're taking the opportunity to join us inside of that community and you're looking at the different things that I'm offering in there and the different things that I'm talking to you guys about in there, I give actual homework assignments depending on where you are. There are checklists and strategies and tips and tools and all kinds of things, right, that are available for those who are on track inside of the community. And not everybody's on track. So, okay, good. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to get it right, Deidre. There are other options in there where people are just perusing, and that's fine too, because if you are brand new to this, you're not quite yet true to this personal brand journey, then you're not really sure why you should be in the community or what you should be looking, around at. I heard people mention them and didn't know how it worked. Okay, I can tell you really quickly before I go too far down the community journey. With this Rat-a-tat-tapper, the thing about this Rat-a-tat-tapper that I love is that it will allow you to attach it to your device. This particular model for 2025 is actually cordless. It will allow you to also gauge how many taps, because these fingers of ours is supposed to mimic your spirit fingers. These fingers of ours can only go but so fast, okay? So don't get yourself in trouble by setting this joker above 15. I keep mine between 9 and 13. Okay, I turn it on, I turn it off. I reach over and I turn it on and turn it off. I'm literally driving sometimes, and I'll tell the kids, make sure you say something if you see a comment or whatever. And this is if I'm multitasking. If I just reach up, I can turn it on and I can turn it off. Y'all see the light go on? You see the little blue light going? That's tapping. Turn it off altogether just by a simple click of the button. Turn it on, start the tapper, turn it off, stop the tapper, right? This will allow your Rat-a-tat-tapper to do what it do on your screen, mimicking your spirit fingers, okay? That way you don't have to worry about getting in trouble. So one of the things I'll be able to also do from this information that I just shared with y'all about how to use that Rat-a-tat-tapper, I'll be able to take that part of the information that I just shared and I will be able to make that some part of the video for my shoppable content. Again, being intentional about how you utilize some of the things that you get on here and spend your precious money on, actually using it inside of your business. You found the stickers, Deidre. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. So again, guys, I'm glad that, that resonated with you, Mo, that I was able to make it make sense for you. But yeah, that Rat-a-tat-tapper can save you a lot of time. It can help you continue to engage. Again, don't set it above 15 because your fingers can only go but so fast, right? It's supposed to mimic you. That way you don't get yourself, nor do you get the actual live host or content creator, in trouble, right? Make sure you take the opportunity to grab one of those. It is in my showcase. I have not yet learned of the best way or the most proper way that I'm supposed to be introducing that. So I'll just talk about it and I'll continue to learn from HR. I know there's supposed to be a way that I can go down here and I can actually pull it up, and we'll see. Hopefully I won't get in trouble. I'm just going to put it up here, guys, just to see. Let me see if I happen to have it in my showcase. And let's see. And I don't want to get too far off task. We're supposed to be on here talking about personal branding. But again, in order to utilize that, that's one of the ways that you can utilize it, right? It will allow you to be able to save your precious spirit fingers to still engage while you're multitasking. And I always suggest that you put it in a place that's safe on the screen to rat-a-tat-tap on your behalf, so that you don't accidentally end up rat-a-tat-tapping your gifts away and spending all your coin. Because I have had that happen. I've had it sat in the wrong space and somehow something popped up on the screen and it rat-a-tat-tapped itself, I don't know, about 15, 20 roses, and exhausted whatever little bit of roses I had on the backup account. Because on the backup account, I only keep enough to give a daily heart me. And just come to think about it, I don't think I sent the one for today yet, did I? Nope. There we go. Okay, so I only keep a small amount of coins just to keep the engagement for the backup account. But girl, yes, honey, sis, I set that phone down. I had that bad boy going one day and it exhausted every last little bit of coin. I said, well, God bless you, whoever it sent them coins to. And I'm sure somewhere in my app I could figure out who it sent it to, but it exhausted them little coins. So you have to be careful where you have the little thing tapping. I like to keep it right up at the top, just under the banner area where those little things slide across. I put it right below that to make sure it's nowhere down bottom and it can't send anybody gifts on auto blast. Okay, just giving you guys a tip to help you avoid a mistake that I made. Okay, so let's see. My son did not hit me back, but I see the garage door camera just lit up, so that's probably him pulling up. I hope he wouldn't look. I hope he won't call to me to see if I needed him to bring me some food. Y'all just had me miss getting some free food. But anyway, okay, so getting back to the personal branding journey that we're on, because we're actually only here for an hour tonight. We actually are, I'm in a 5-day challenge, and that 5-day challenge we meet with Dr. Denise at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today is day 3. And today in day 3, we are actually discussing lead magnet drafts, refinement pages, and the likes. And here's what's so funny. Somebody asked me in the group, they were like, you've already done this. Hopefully the dogs aren't too loud. You've already done this. Why are you in this challenge? The number one thing that our coach, Dwayne Williams, tells us is what? Market research. Of course I'm going to be in the 5-day challenge. Market research, because it's allowing me to see how other people operate their brand, operate their business, journey, right? Market research. Of course I'm going to be in the challenge. Oh, that was you. That's right. See, I didn't know when I saw your name. It don't say Afro Swank over there. So yes, and I'm like, of course I'm going to be in this challenge. I'm going to be learning. I'm going to be gleaning. Yes, right? So especially with her being the COO of the company, I want to see how she runs her challenges. I want to see how she delivers the content. I want to see the hiccups, the bumps, the blunders, right? Because that helps me be a better business person, be a better brand master. Again, I am coachable, teachable, trainable. Why would I expect the people who follow me, why would I expect when I tell you to be coachable, teachable, trainable, that I wouldn't get in here and be coachable, teachable, trainable myself? Absolutely. I am a person of my own. I am a student of my own teaching. Hello? Okay? So we get started at 7 o'clock tonight. So I want to make sure that I get through everything that I had for you tonight. So another thing that we discussed on last week, when I told you guys in part 2 of this journey, you guys are going to be expected to make a big me list. On this big me list, there are things that you should be listing, right? You're going to take and you're going to create your long, extensive list of everything that you do well, that you do exceptional, that people are constantly asking you about. You're going to take the opportunity to write. This is me attending a speaker event that was a 6-day speaker event with Dr. Cheryl Wood. And on this journey, she had us make a big me list. These are all my, this is not the big me list. These are all my notes from at least the first 3 days, right? I'm a writer. I believe in writing a plan. So writing this out, taking my notes, paying attention. Again, I am coachable, teachable, trainable. Writing out everything she's asking us to write out, paying attention to what she's teaching and training. These were some of the must-haves that she gave us to speak. Must-have to speak as a business is different from the must-have to speak as a personal brand, right? 7 stages of opportunities, right? There are 7 different stages of the opportunity to speak. There's paid, there's speak to sell, there's revenue share, there's lead gen, there's pay to play. There's no way she would be able to teach all of this to us if she herself did not take the opportunity to do what? Write down everything she herself knows how to do. Then she was able to reformulate everything that she knows how to do into PowerPoints, into speaking, storytelling. She was able to take everything that she knows, narrow it down, organize it, pivot, flip it. Oh no, you know what I'm saying? So that she could teach it. So these specific project planning sheets are my own brand. I think these are also in the community. If they aren't, I'll make sure that they get into the community. If you're wondering what community I'm talking about, if you have a look up here, I have the availability for you to join us in the community. When you join us in the community, the very first thing that you need to do when you join us in the community is to take your assessment. Why do I have you take your assessment first? So that you can see some of the things that I'm going to ask you about your branding journey, so that I can see where you are on the branding journey. And when you submit it, it will give you a link to book an appointment with me. You can have a clarity chat with me. I can look at where you are. I know what's in the community, and I can make it make sense. Okay? And thank you for asking that question, Deidre, because I will make sure that the project planning sheets are in there. I want to say they are. I will probably just have to tell you where to go to get them. But here is one of the ways that I use the project planning sheets. Let me see if I can find a blank one for you, because I feel this would help you organize. And even though I know for sure that they are not in the Cash Flow Queen Journal, they are not in the Cash Flow Queen Goals Planner, they are an asset that I can make sure that you have. They're blank when you first get them. The very first thing that it gives you the option to do up here up top is to date it, right? And then to put the subject or the person that you are actually speaking with. The next thing that it asks you is, what do you want to plan? It's not just a blank sheet of paper. Then it breaks it down so you can actually have 6 different topics. I like to use this in this mindset: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's how I like to think about it. Or I like to think step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6, give yourself a day of rest, right? So this gives you the ability to do a title. You can number it, you can letter it, you can check box it or whatever, and now you can write out your notes. So should you choose to do so. Everything I do is in a structure or is in some format of organization, okay? That way you can plan out the project. Now, that's if you want to break it up in that fashion. On the back side of it, I have, for my people who don't like breaking things up like that, is I have the option for you to do the same thing. What do you plan? What is it you're trying to plan to do? And now you can go down, number it. You can letter it. You can however you want to do it down over here. And now you have the expanse of the middle to write out your notes. And now you, over here on the end, you can either, not over here, on the end, you can date it. You could done, not done, however you want to. And then there's a notes area across the bottom, right? So either you can break it up or you can do it in a linear method, okay? That's just for me, a person who likes to take notes on everything. Okay, music to my ears. Good, good, good. Now, specifically before we go, because we are in the last 10 minutes, let's talk about the Cash Flow Queen Goals Planner here. And what I want to do, and I'll use my coach, Bridget Bartlett. So on this particular page here, it says from Bridget Bartlett, my vision agency is where you get the story, but without the scar. That is her specific quote over here. My goal for this is that you take this opportunity to hold this dear and close to you. So in the event you have the opportunity to meet any of these good people, take your picture, get them to sign your planner, and now that's something that you will cherish forever and a day. Beyond that, over here, it says today, you write the day I am grateful for, and it has a couple of lines for you to write what you're grateful for. Beyond that, at least the top 3 things that you're going to accomplish for that day. Then over here, you have the availability to write just a bulleted schedule. Like for me, 10 a.m., Life Be Life and podcast. 2 p.m., coaching with Bridget. Today it was 6 p.m. Watch Me Work Wednesday live, and 7 p.m. Mac coaching with Denise. That's kind of, how I wrote my schedule for today, so I could see it. The whole point and purpose for this is to document your personal journey for 90 days so that you can then move forward. Now that you have a case study of what you've done, what you have accomplished for the last 90 days, now this is something that you can actually share your personal journey with to others. Cash Flow Queen Goals, your 90-day implementation plan. This particular image is a branded image for the Cash Flow Queen journey that I have for you guys. I have an area here for you to write some notes. Then we move down to social media. So if you're tracking your social media, you're able to write what your account is for which platform. You're able to do that for 1, 2, 3, 4 platforms. If you're going to track 4, do it for 1. Maybe you're just tracking it just to see who the follower account is. Maybe you use that area to actually set your budget. Right? Today, I want to meet 3 new followers. Then write down the date, the name, whatever it is. Exactly. Get your assets in order. That's the whole point of the journal. Then, of course, you have who you're interested in collaborating with and a notes area for that. Now, on the personal side, since that was pretty much your day in business, you're now able to, your meals. What'd you have for breakfast, lunch? What'd you have for dinner? What'd you eat for a snack? What was your mood for the day? You're also available to do a little bit with your activity, whether you're stretching, you're walking, you're actually in the gym. What did that look like? Your water intake over here, your juice intake, your coffee intake, whatever liquid intake you want to track inside of your journey. Then you also have your expense tracking, personal money in and out, business money in and out. Finally, down here, today's achievements. Now, at the beginning, you said what you needed to do. Now you're available to expand on today's achievements. What did you achieve? And then finally, today you chose to let go of what? You want to do this for 90 days because, again, those are the areas that we set up for you. If you're not tracking any type of exercise, then draw a little line through it. What are you tracking? Write that across. Use the book to track whatever your journey is for 90 days. Hello. Because now by writing it down, not typing it into something, not holding it in your head, by writing it down for 90 days, you now have the blueprint on everything you said you were going to do and what you did. Written, okay? That's the point of this. Because if you have no idea, as a new, stuck, struggling Gen X, you sometimes just need a blueprint. You need something to structure yourself through a journey so that you can then know what is your personal story, what is your personal brand, what does your journey look like. In your head, telling someone to brand, they're like, brand what? I don't have a business. It's not about a business. It's about you. Okay? So before we close, step 2, right? Week 2, your one step for this week and your big me list is to write everything down. You want to take the opportunity, once you write everything down, you then want to pay attention to, yes, I know how to do all this, but what do I shine at? What 1 or 3 things on this list do I really, really shine at? People consistently ask me about this something, right? Because that is the one thing you may have taken the opportunity to go through and write a whole entire list. Well, now that is the one thing where you're going to flip that piece of paper over, should you choose to use this to do it. And now you're going to say, okay, if this one thing, these are the 3 things about that, this is the way I can break that down. Or that second thing, this is the way I can break that down, right? Because that's content. Like literally, if I were to look at one of the things that I do really, really well, is branding. So when I go to talking about branding, the first thing I did was say, what do I know about branding? Well, when I came up in school, it was the 5 W's of branding. Hello, the 5 W's of branding. So if you want to know more about branding and you want to see the entire expanse of how I talk about branding and make it make sense for people, I talk about the 5 W's, the what, when, where, why, and who of branding. And then I give you a bonus of how, because I walk you through how to brand. And I make sure you get a cheat sheet that has pretty much fill in the blank. But here's the thing. When I'm giving you the coaching and the training on it, you can fill it out, right? People hated fill in the blank in school. You hate fill in the blank in school when someone's telling you to come from your own mind and fill in the blank. Well, if I'm talking you through it, and instead of writing the whole sentence of the number one thing, we'll say the number one thing is smile, then you don't have to write my attitude, my physical appearance, my attire, my best feature is my smile. When you get to that one sentence, you can see that one blank, and over here, you can see smile. All you had to do was write smile. So when I move to the next thing and I'm saying a business card, a postcard, I've already typed up business card, postcard, and card magnet. So when you're listening, all you have to do is write down postcard, web, something like that. Postcard, you know what I'm saying? Banner. On the next one, when I'm talking about the where, and I'm talking about blank, also podcasts, blogs, lead capture pages, websites, ebooks. All you don't have to remember all those. You just have to write the very first one. What's going on, Forever Glow Up? When I'm talking about the different platforms, you don't have to write all of them down because I already have listed Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. All you have to write down is TikTok, right? That's what I mean about once you know everything you're good at, now you can move from that step to what does the market need? Y'all don't have a clue about branding. So I give you a cheat sheet. Now, can anybody ask where they would go get this cheat sheet from? Where do you think you guys would go to get this cheat sheet from? I don't know how many times I can say it. Where do you think you would go to get this cheat sheet from? One, yes, you could get it in the community. But if I were telling you everything I do is based on my name, and everything that I tell you, share with you, show you, if you can go to my name, you're going to find it. Obviously, you would go to cheatsheet.myname.com, right? Again, everything that I talk to you guys about, I literally have a link for it. The first place I suggest everybody go is to the community, of course. But anytime you happen to come across me, yes, Mo, on the website, in the community, anytime you happen to come across me, if I'm going to tell you to go somewhere to get something, more than likely, it's going to have a downloadable something to go with it. Because people need checklists, cheat sheets, like they need all of that to be able to walk them through something. So just because you have asked me for this specific project planner, because I know that's what it is, project planning, give me 24 hours. Probably not even gonna need 24 hours, Mo, but you're gonna be, or Afro Swing, one, Deidre or Monique. I'm gonna get it. mode for now, but I'm going to get it because daggone it, I'm going to be a steward of my word. I see it broke up for me, and somebody asked me something. I missed it. Community, I saw that. I answered that. Can you tell us again how to reach you? Think I signed up just now, not entirely sure. Okay, so if you had signed up for sure, Deidre, I would have seen it drop down on my screen. Yep, I do see something. Yes. I know there's something specific you don't like us to announce on social media. So yes, I do see your drop down. You did come into the community. So yes. So now that you're in the community, if you're on the mobile version, you laughing at me trying to remember how to pronounce your name, right, Monique? Yeah, because see, I want to do Leas to it. And I'm like, that is not what she put in there. I'm going to get it right. And plus, I got to go get in my class. Yes, I do see you, Deidre, if I'm not mistaken. Afro Swank is the one I just saw come in. But Deidre, I think you were already in the community. Let me go double check. But I was saying to you guys, it's not even going to take me 24. Okay, you did receive an email? Good. So then you're in there if you got the email. Projectplanning.martinabrityelverton.com probably. It's going to be on there so that you can quickly access this. Right, I'm gonna make sure that's in there just specifically for you. But Afro Swank, because you just came in, leaving to attend because the class fills up quickly. Well, the class should not be filling up anymore, sis. The class should not be filling up anymore like that because that 100 seat issue was resolved. But just because you said that, I'm gonna go right back over here to the community, and we're gonna wrap up in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put myself in there. And I'm going to go ahead and join, and I'm going to wrap up with you guys. All right. And I am in there now, getting ready to jump into my class. Okay. So again, I'm going to make sure I get this ready for her. Projectplanning.martinabrityelverton.com. I'm going to make sure that I probably drop a post to give the tips that I was supposed to do today that I did not get to cover everything. Thank you so much for your time on today, Deidre and Monique. And hey there, Wise Virgin. Let's see, what is this? Let me get your full name. Slots Tips Guru. Wise Virgin Slots Tips Guru. I'll figure out more about that. But thank you so much for sticking and staying. I hope the information that I've shared with you on today. Thank you so much, you guys, for helping me tap to 10,000 taps tonight. I really appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to ascend to the goal. So I'm going to adjust my goal. And the reason that we go in and we edit our goals so we can signal the algorithm that we actually met to some sense. So I'm going to change this now to 12 since we met 12. I'm going to confirm that, so that it will show that we met that goal. Goal saved. Yes, goal met. All right, goal achieved at the top. And I'm going to jump into the class, and I will see you Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we jumpstart week 3 here. And we're actually going to be discussing your unique value. Okay, I'll catch you guys on the next one. BrandMaster Martina Britt Yelverton, and I am out.